Hi, I'm Michael Morrissey, the Norfolk County District Attorney. I had a chance to speak with a lot of great families who were struggling with addiction issues and substance abuse issues, including some that had even suffered death of a family member. When there is a sudden or unattended death, the District Attorney's Office must be notified and investigate. And even after the first week in office, I saw that there was a good number of deaths, well it may have been unattended, could have been traced back to drug or substance abuse issues. It's an issue that faces every community, because the calls I was getting the first weekend were the Renthams and the Wellesleys and the Needhams. They were not just on the South Shore. It is all over Norfolk County. Dr. John Kelly is the first person I'm going to ask to have a couple of words to say about this. Dr. John Kelly is an associate professor in psychiatry at Harvard Medical School, and he's the director of addiction recovery services at Mass General Hospitals. Dr. Kelly, if you can maybe talk a little bit about what you see on a day-to-day and what you think that parents and others should know about how we got here.
Substance misuse, of course, overall is our nation's #1 public health problem. What we've seen in the last 20 years is a huge increase in so-called the misuse of psychotherapeutic drugs. These are prescribed medications like opiates, stimulants, sedatives, very well manufactured to do their job extremely well. And they've been prescribed more and more during the last 20 years. And so we've had this excess availability, which has meant that young people have gotten exposed to them a lot more than they would have done prior to 20 years ago. We've seen this huge increase in use. One of the issues with these particular drugs, specifically opiates, opiate-derived drugs like OxyContin, is that they're very seductive. And young people, of course, are notorious for experimenting with drugs, and if they're handing them around with the perception that they're safe because they were prescribed at one point and because they are seductive and produce this pleasant effects, people repeat them, and they're not aware that they could potentially get addicted to them. The cycle to dependence with opiates is much more rapid than it is with marijuana or alcohol, for example. The intensity of the euphoria is very seductive. That drug gets its hooks into your brain, and then before you know it, you can quite quickly become dependent.
For more short videos on prescription drug and opiate abuse, go to norfolkda.com. In addition, this video was an excerpt of a 30-minute program produced for cable access. If you live in Norfolk County, contact your local cable access station for future airings.